Hello, YouTube and DLive. I'm Saul Sunforge. This is Dungeons and Taverns. Right now, you're watching the Dirty 20. The group is separated, and you're watching the smaller portion of that group. Asgrim is right now in Clogsneak, also known as the City of Cogs. It is recently primarily a goblin-run territory. However, there are owlbears and bugbears and hobgoblins around as well. Currently, Asgrim is trying to procure the assistance of one smith to help make a vehicle that he has plans he designated for a custom vehicle. And we're going to go ahead and join him in that process now. The other portion of the group is in the pirate city of Dalia Carnassus. It's getting close to the time where they probably should be meeting up soon. Let's see how they do it. Thanks everybody for watching, and if you enjoyed, please go ahead and leave a subscription on your way out. Alright, so go ahead and roll if you're going to do, that's what you're going to do, and you're sure that's what you're going to do, then go ahead and roll your 3d8s then to see how many of the fabricates. And what is it you're trying to fabricate exactly?
The components that I got this cosmetic for.
Right. She basically gave you a list of the components that you would need, so you would already have basic understanding of what those components are just because of your nature. So yeah, go ahead and we'll just miscellaneous components, and it will lower the price and things like that, and all depending on what you give her and everything.
Yeah.
All right.
I am gonna roll them separate because, like I said, I had an idea.
Okay. No problem. Roll them separate.
Oh wow.
10, huh? Alrighty.
So, I was thinking I would need 3 different components each day.
Yeah, I figure that. And the 10
the one I get 8 of, I give one of to Jinx and have him go into the market and see what he can get an estimation of the value of that item, and then the rest gets handed off.
Okay, so you're giving Jinx 1, and then you're giving 9 to the smithy.
Inventor or whatever she was.
Yeah. To make the
And the goblin is going over there to hand those off.
Okay.
And I can't remember what we decided was named.
Fred. Good old Freddy. Never let anybody down, that Fred. All right. So he's going up there instead of you, right?
Yeah, because I am gonna go study the tower.
Ah, okay. All right. So yeah, so you go ahead and hand off the 9 large cogs and some of the springs that you've made to help out with the aid of the materials for your vehicle. Fred goes off, and the pile of scrap is noticeably smaller. And Jinx goes off with his 1 to try to give you an estimation of what these things might be worth that you're creating. It is, as far as you could tell, it's still kind of midday. You are in a cave, but however, the entrance of this town is dimly lit because the sunlight is coming through the jungle pass and illuminating the beginnings of the cave with some rays. So you can still see in here, and you could kind of tell that it's probably somewhere in midday. What would you like to do?
Well, I am looking directly at the tower from the pile to see if anything happens to begin with.
Yeah, when you're looking at the tower from the trash heap, you can see that it extends. Well, it's definitely the largest building in this place. It immediately stands out because of that, but not just because of that. It's also located on a cliff face, and so it actually gives it the impression of being even taller than it is. It's very smooth from observing it, you can't see a door or a window, uh, but you can tell by the dome and the pointed top of it that it isn't just like it's not just a plinth or anything like that sticking out. This actually is a tower. Whether it was sealed away or something like that, you're not exactly sure, but you can't really see any entrance from where you're at. However, those sickening feelings that you had, that where your hairs were standing up and you kind of had a headache as you when you went to approach the tower and things like that, you had like maybe a minor case of tinnitus. You had like a little humming, reverberating in your ear. Those types of effects from where you're at are not felt.
Okay. I approach the tower slowly until I start getting the effects. How close can I get?
You can get to within about here. Let me see here. Let me get the little arrow.
Oh, I'll be right back. Cat left over the water.
Okay. Yeah, about 1,000. All right, so you can get to the edge of this mesa right over here, and it so before you get to the effects, it's about 1,000 feet away from the tower. As you step, like when you step through the plane of that mesa, it's like that's where the effects start.
Okay. I summon my book and I start taking notes in it right about the towers,
Okay.
and then I try to compare it to any other known structure types I know from other cultures because it's easy to see it's not built by anyone here.
Yeah, it's definitely not built by anybody here, and from everything that you can see or tell, this structure originally appears to have been elven in nature.
Okay.
You can tell this because of uh, the fine marble that is used to create this tower. Uh, dwarves don't usually work in marble; they usually work in stone or steel. Marble is more of a elegant uh, material, and so you can tell. You're not exactly sure if this was made like this was originally part of like the Underdark or anything like that. So you don't know which specific elves, but you're very certain this is Elven.
I'm pretty sure I fucked up.
May I roll a history to see if I know anything about this town?
Yes, yes. All
If
right.
you're talking, I can't hear you.
Oh no, sorry, your roll didn't come through until just now. A 19. Okay, so you know that this was originally it was an elven tower. It was they just called it the Jungle Tower. They used it to survey the land from trolls and Naga that infiltrated into their lands from the jungle. However, you also know that this tower was taken over by the Yuan Ti, and they have repurposed this tower. And you believe that this may be the lost tower to their civilization Hislis. It's a unknown. It's previously unknown. Location. Its whereabouts, but you are very certain that this matches the Tower of Descriptions from tomes that you have read.
Okay. Now I'm even more determined to get in there.
It makes you more determined to get in there. Oh, great.
In your ass? Nobody wants to do that.
Listen,
That's
you.
the forbidden
Well,
fruit.
This is on YouTube. I don't need you to be talking like that.
Well, you're not letting her pick you, so I was hoping I got to take that cherry.
Oh my god. Uh,
Every time I've ever tried to put a finger in your ass, you've moved.
oh.
Yeah, he just won't let you do it.
Hot and steamy D&D adult content. Only here on D Live and YouTube, folks. You get it right here. Tell your friends. Alrighty.
Well, you weren't complaining about it the other day. And you said you needed the money, so...
Yes. I definitely need the money.
Don't worry about you.
Oh, man.
Well...
Alright, so what would you like to do with the knowledge of this recollection that you have?
Well, of course I write it down in my journal, and I of course write it in my country's language so no one else can read it.
Alrighty.
Probably.
So you sit there jotting down your observations of the tower, how it makes you feel, the material. You take note of all those things, and you know your notes are rather detailed. So it takes you we'll say about a half hour or so of you observing this tower, unless you want to observe it longer or anything like that. But
I'm not done with this tower yet. Oh, believe me, I got more.
all right.
So now we're gonna do an experiment.
So now you go ahead and you're approached by a young female goblin, and she introduces herself as Mary Wellen, and she says to you, "Excuse me, sir, but your vehicle seems to be coming along nicely. My mother told me to come find you and give you updates on the progress."
Oh, thank you. Your mother being I forgot.
Out of character, I forgot her fucking name. What do you want from me? But in character, let's go find out what her name was, shall we? I'm very professional here, folks. This is why you tune in.
Sounds like your ass is a little under par.
No, it's just a minor character. I didn't remember her name. Listen. With everything else I have to remember in life, remembering an artificer's name.
Atticus.
Yes, Atticus Solroy or something like that, right?
Atticus.
Sorry. Yeah.
Atticus Lincoln?
Atticus. That's right. Atticus. Yeah. Atticus Sorry. She prefers to be called Addie. She's a dangerous inventor and will always get into trouble if it means advancing her pursuits. All right.
Sounds like me.
All right. And then her daughter.
So, you're Eddie's daughter.
That's right, sir. She sent me to find you to see if you need any help or if you had any other things that you wish to, any type of adjustments that you wish to make on your vehicle. She said you would have to make them now before they're finalized. Whatever that means, I'm not exactly sure.
Well, I better follow you then, so we can go talk to your mother to ensure that there's no miscommunication on this part.
Very well, but if you would be so kind for us to avoid that tower, it makes me feel very ill when I go near it, so I try to go around it.
Oh, you feel that too?
Just a little bit. My mother says I have a touch of the magic about me.
Probably runs in your family.
That's what I understand. Magic usually runs in the family, or it's bestowed, like in the storybooks, by dragons. You can tell that this girl is she's rather young, like probably equivalent to about 16 in human years.
Well, we go up to Atticus then.
All right. So you walk through up through the natural stone carvings that are the stairs, up through the ruins, in the pathways in between the fungal farm. There's a lot of there's a lot of muckrakers out there, tending to the mushrooms. And then there is some type of settlement that you go up past, another trash heap, up some other natural stairs. Once you get into the grotto that is the overgrowth, everything becomes more vibrant and brighter than the rest of the city itself. And there actually seems to be a exit or entrance, however you want to look at it, into the city from over this way as well. And so it's illuminating the area fairly well, and there's a hint of music being played, but you can't determine a source. You go ahead and you walk into Addie's place of business, and she immediately recognizes who you are, and she says to you, "Oh, well, I see Mary Wellen found you.
Oh, yes.
How are you liking the city so far?"
Oh, it's rather interesting.
I
Especially
trust.
the tower down there.
Oh, the tower. Yeah, most people who are not from our city, that's one of the first things they ask about. Uh, it's hard to imagine why though. See, it's an evil.
Probably because it's so different from everything else.
Well, yes, but everybody who goes to investigate that tower ends up disappearing. And so it's gotten quite a reputation around here. We don't dare go near it. And the only way in is through the underground hobgoblin uh, area of the town where they live. They have their area blocked off, and goblins aren't allowed there, and it's just bugbears aren't allowed in there. It's only for hobgoblins.
Hmm. So there's no chance for an outsider to get a look at that?
Oh, excuse me, out of character. I switched it around. It's the bugbear territory, not the hobgoblins territory.
I thought you meant that, so.
Yeah, my mistake. All right, so um, ask your question to her again.
Oh, since the, it was just so there's no way an outsider can get entrance.
Uh, I I don't know who you would even need to talk to for such a thing. They they guard their territory very judiciously. I would start going. I would probably start down in their cave. At the entrance to their cave, there they have guards, and they might be able to direct you to somebody or just allow you in. Do you have? Uh, I really don't know you too well. Do you have any type of writ of nobility, or insignia, or anything that would give you official clearance, perhaps? Or they're not very smart. You see what I'm saying? And if you were to somehow trick them, you could probably gain access. I'm telling you this because I
That's
kind of want to
good.
know where all these people are disappearing to.
So
Because it's
how
not just
long do you how long?
outsiders.
I got a question for you. How long do you plan to work on that today? And I point towards the plans of my mount.
Oh, well, I plan on working on this until I'm ready to go to sleep. Whenever I have a job to do, I do as much as I possibly can to get it done as quickly as I can, so I can relax later.
Oh, well, just thinking that you might need a break at some point where you might want to go look at that tower then.
Oh, I,
All I would need is a picture of some of the insignias of the higher ups of this place, or the outer regions, like a little lesser known lord or something like that.
oh, hmm. Yeah, that sounds like a very creative and clever idea. Um, yeah, give me a. You know what? Give me 3 hours, and you come back, and I will have you an insignia ring that will help you, hopefully, fool the guards there. Like I said, they're not terribly smart. They're just terribly strong and brutish. And well, many a goblins have been curious about that tower, and many a goblins have not returned. So I'm very curious to see what that tower is about myself.
We
But
might need someone along that is skilled at disarming traps, though. Finding and disarming traps.
well,
I look around to see if I can see Fred.
Fred, good old Fred. Go ahead, go ahead and give me a perception check to see if you can pick out Fred. Oh yeah, you definitely see Fred. He's over there. He's over there sniffing some flowers that she has on a windowsill.
Oh, Fred!
Me? What do you need?
You wouldn't have. Well, you wouldn't happen to know someone who's skilled at finding and disarming traps?
I can find him. Can't disarm him.
Finding them might be enough. Um,
Very well. You help me. I help you.
yes, I indeed helped you by saying that you wouldn't have to pay fees for the first year.
Out of character. You got to remind me about that deal. I guess I go back and watch that episode too, but
It's that he was allowed to become one of our minors and not pay fees for the first year
okay.
to get him started.
All right.
But for him to get that deal, all trades would have to go through Revenant.
All right.
But that's the same deal everyone else is gonna get. That if they don't wanna be let us be a silent partner in the mind, all trades would have to go through Revenant. So it's not like I'm trying to stiff him in any way or form. It's just like he actually is getting a benefit because he's helping me these 3 days as well.
Very well. So what is it you're trying to? Where's these traps that you're looking for me to find?
The window he's looked at is that facing the tower.
He shows you his hand, and you see that he's missing a finger. He says, "Like I said, I'm good at finding them, but not disarming them."
Well, I guess we need some kind of way of indicating where not to step them, like paints.
Well, my favorite strategy is bringing some rocks with me and throwing them down the hallway. Usually, if something's triggered by that, you found the trap. I got some stones. Shut up, you perverts.
I had stones.
Shut up, you perverts back there. Talking about goblin stones. Sickos.
We just want to know if I wasn't know.
So he says to you, so I don't mean to be a killjoy, but if it's just you and me going into this tower, what do you think our chance of survival is going to be?
Sure, they want to.
Well, first of all, we're just gonna go looking. Yep.
Okay.
So, if we find something we don't feel like we can handle, we run.
Seems like a wise strategy. It's done me good. Well, until you found me. But
Well, at that point, you were sitting.
yeah, I was sitting. I was running at the time, and then I was tripped. You see, bugbears like to bully and play tricks on us goblins.
Well, I gave you a way out now.
Indeed. So, off we go then. Any kind of
Oh, we're gonna wait here for a few hours until Atticus is ready.
Oh, I see. I wasn't a party to that conversation. Okay. Well, I'd go. He's like, can I go down to the farms? His sister works down there.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'll be back in a few hours. You
You could also go by the market to see if there was something that fit my description, you know.
What was your description?
Young humanoid of somewhat learned ability, at least be willing to learn to read and write.
A humanoid. Okay. So what? Like you want a follower?
Preferably,
Like a apprentice?
yeah.
And Atticus hears you saying this, and she says to you, "Well, I was in truth kind of hoping that you would take my daughter Mary Wellen with you as your apprentice. She hasn't seen much of the world yet, you see, and she pulls you aside and says, "There's a You're not from here, so you really shouldn't tell you, but this is extenuating circumstances. You see, our little settlement here has been attacked several times over, and I don't mind letting you know, sir, that I fear for my daughter's safety."
So you're talking about the undead, right?
Well, not just the undead, but yes, that's a big portion of it. But every few months we do have slavers who come through here, and just round up
They
a
come from the
few.
north, right?
Excuse me.
They do come from the north, right?
Well, yeah, that's from the north. Sometimes they come up from over the mountains. There's a few cities up on the mountains that utilize a lot of slave labor, as the high elevation is. Well, it's okay for our people, but it's not so okay for their people. And they come and capture us every once in a while. That's why most of the bugbears are positioned outside, and the hobgoblins are positioned up to survey the land a little bit further from a higher elevation. Our city is all designed, well, it's been redesigned with security in mind.
Well, then you should be aware that right now I am dealing with an issue trying to directly stop the undead threat. But that also means encountering a lot of undead and other strong enemies. But yes, I don't mind taking your daughter as an apprentice if
She can hold her own in most combat situations, I'd say, but she's still young, so she still needs some training. She's really good with daggers and quarterstaffs. She has learned how to use those to be pretty capable. And if I do say so myself, she's learned a few nice recipes. You should try her goulash.
Oh, don't mind. I do. I'm pretty fond of food myself.
Well, aren't we all? Although I imagine our cuisines over here are not something that you would be used to.
No, but I don't mind trying them. And you really should turn on your alerts.
Oh. I should turn on my alerts. Sorry, I was getting so into character over here, I wasn't even paying attention to anything else. Let's see here. Oh, Dova with a diamond! Hobble gobble these stones! Oh, shit.
What?
Thanks for the diamond. I really should turn my alerts on. I owe you a dance. Oh, man. I owe you a damn dance.
Dance for us, baby.
Let me... I don't even remember how to get to my alerts. It's been so damn long. I think Tidy Labs, right?
That stream.
All right, so Mary Wellen offers to come with you, but she first, they has kind of a heartwarming conversation with her mom, asking if she thinks she's truly ready, and Atticus, she says, "I've taught you everything I can, my daughter. The rest is up to you to learn. Go with Sir Asgrim. He will teach you many things. He looks like a man who has been on many journeys and has many stories to tell."
Oh, stories there's many of. But if they're worth telling, that is always the question.
And then Mary Wellen says to you, "If it pleases you, Sir Asgrim, I am very good at annotation. I can take your notes for you."
Here goes Daddy.
I summoned the book that I can summon, and I show her the page.
Me too.
But can you read this?
And you wrote that in what language did you write that in?
English.
Coded?
Coded. Well, no, she wouldn't be able to uncode what you wrote. So she inquires, why do you write in such a strange way?
Oh, to ensure no one else can claim that I stole
That's you.
their
Bless you.
search and
You cover
so
your
on.
mouth before you say
And likewise, I don't risk people trying to steal my research.
not after, before.
I can understand your second point, but how would your first point be proven by you writing it in a different, obscure way? Couldn't you just write somebody else's work in an obscure way, and then that still wouldn't make it your own? But I can see your research, your own research, not wanting to be discovered.
I point to just above on the right corner on the first section I've written. You see there? That's the date.
What's the significance of that?
That proves when I wrote it.
I just say you didn't do that.
Couldn't you just write it any date you wanted to?
I could, but researchers rarely do because they tend to lose track of time and thereby dating when they had certain theories and ideas and so on.
That makes sense.
Well,
Has any two researchers ever had the same idea at the same time?
Not at the exactly same time, but rather close to each other. Yes, that has happened. And that's where dating your notes is important.
You got it.
So do they both get credit, or who gets credit?
I win.
Well, in this case, they both ended up getting credit because one has thought out something the other one hadn't, and vice versa. And then they ended up discussing it and then having a huge breakthrough, both of them, and then started working together. So in the end, they both ended up with the credit.
Well, I suppose at least if they both got credit, that's better than no one getting credit. Well, do they often rival each other, like try to ruin each other's experiments?
More often than you would expect, and sadly, many researchers are very petty.
Do you consider yourself to be petty?
I sure do.
When it comes to my food, yes.
When it comes to your food,
Yes. Don't steal my food.
what about your research?
I'm petty when it comes to my food.
Well, that's why I write in code, because then no one can steal my research.
Oh shit.
We got the feeling and you made the sound.
If I ever notice that my notebook is missing or someone is playing around with my notebook, I just make sure to go to the academy or any place of learned and put forth my research. So in the time it will take them to crack my code, I would already have handed in my code, my research.
Well, that sounds interesting. I'm guessing you're probably not going to teach me your code, so I guess offering my services as a scribe to you do no good.
It could be useful. It could be used in many ways other than just taking down notes, but it helps me think as well, just to write down my own things. You know, like you'll be walking around thinking about something, and then as you're writing it down, you'll be able to combine it with something else you thought of earlier, or you'll get some new stroke of genius as you're writing it down. So I find it's often useful for me to write my own notes. But where you could be useful is, for example, if I have multiple other people's research that I want to compare.
Well, any use to you that I can be, I shall be. I'm afraid that my mother has overstated my abilities in combat, however. I am just barely capable. Don't want to go rushing off into any wars or anything, but
Don't worry about that.
I
can't hit anything with any weapons else. I have this thing, and I pull out my crossbow.
Wow, that looks old and powerful. Where did you get this at?
I got it from King Bernard for helping him, and
No.
Wow, you know a king?
I know at least two.
Wow. I think then that our adventure should be very fruitful. I wasn't sure, but already if you're telling stories of kings, then you must be a pretty powerful man, or at least well connected.
I think it's the latter. One thing I will teach you: don't estimate the value of a good bottle of wine, some food, and the ability to talk.
Well, I can't say my mom has allowed me to have too much wine in my life, but I do have a taste for it.
Wow.
I am rather fond of cheese, however.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm always able to find myself a good wheel of cheese.
No. Again.
I open my bag of holding and pull out the quarter cheese wheel I have left.
Oh, what kind of cheese is this?
Who was going again?
I don't really know, but it came from the cellar of a king.
Oh. Well, have you tried it yet?
You got it again?
Actually, no, I never got around to that. It used to be a complete wheel, but over time it kind of like disappeared whenever we were sitting down for things. But I never got around to tasting the cheese itself myself.
So somebody's been stealing your cheese?
Oh no, not stealing my cheese, but like we sat down for a meal. I put out the cheese, and
Oh, who
I
cut the
just never.
cheese?
Callie.
That would be Foxadon for Val.
Oh, where's he at?
So I can fix it again.
I have no idea, but he's in the same place as the doctor. That I know.
The doctor?
Yeah, that's another one of my companion. Well,
Oh, shit. I forgot stretching hurts.
You know a doctor and kings?
Mother.
I take out my billowing cloak that I have my bag in holdings, and I hand it to her.
Mother.
What is this shiny garment?
It's trucker.
Well, since we'll be traveling together, you'll need something to protect you from the rain, and this is all I have at the moment. So
Why does it move on its own accord?
Oh, don't hurt.
Because it's magical.
Oh,
See if they're feeling hot. But this one right here.
I know a little bit
must be
about
hot.
magic.
It's like a core area.
Will it give me magic?
It's really cold.
No, but you can use it.
Well, I appreciate the cloak, and I shall wear it with gratitude.
Look at my hearts.
And as you have these exchanges, you find that quite some time has passed. And Fred is making his way back up into this large house that is in basically a hollowed out toadstool. And
I'm almost on my way.
so it's rather massive. And Fred makes his way back and says, I visited sister. She's okay. So, are we ready to go yet? And Atticus says,
I'm trying.
yes, my impatient friends. And she hands you the ring, a signet ring, and she says, this is for the minor noble house of the Simpson clan. You shall, if you show this ring, I should say that it will pass for any stupid bugbears. They are not the brightest. They have no idea. You could literally show them a scrap of metal and convince them it's a ring. I'm pretty sure. Bullies, all of them.
You wouldn't happen to have a picture of this, of the Simpsons.
Oh, she pulls out a book of a bunch of houses, noble houses with their signet rings, and she shows you, and it's like a triangle. The ring's a circle, but the design inside it is.
What I'm literally gonna do is I'm gonna try to improve upon our ring to make it look more like the simple signet of this house with my own forgery.
Oh, you're gonna try to. Okay, so you're gonna try to make your own copy or improve on the one she's already made.
First of all, I'm just gonna try and make my own just to see which one is gonna turn out better.
All right. So you're willing to invest how long into making it?
Seeing it's a ring, it shouldn't take more. And it's just a simple signet ring.
Yeah, it took her 3 hours. So to give you a comparison.
Well. Let's just say I'm gonna try and see if I just can make one that's better to begin with, and then let's see what we get. But it's probably gonna be about the same time.
Dova says, "This is why I'll never play a scholarly character." Why is that?
Oh, believe me, Troll, you will always start out as a martial or something like that, and then over time you will be more and more drawn towards the scholarly.
The bear in your hair. You better get it out.
Yeah, so you look at the signet ring, you look at the drawing of it on the parchment, and it seems like it's a rather old book. But the ring itself, you can see that it has some green filigree, and it's a triangular shape on a circular ring. It doesn't look like anything that's spectacular. And so you're able to, in about 4 hours or so, you're able to make a ring that actually looks a bit better, improves on the ring she had made. And after she spent the time to make her ring, and then you go and make your own ring anyway, she feels kind of slighted by that. And she says to you, "Well, what did you have me make it for if you already could?"
I didn't say for you to make it. I asked if you had a picture of.
So
I just asked for.
so you
I
come,
asked
you,
for.
you come to me knowing I make things, and you tell me about a ring that you need to help you get in, but you don't think I'm going to also make the ring? That seems silly. I'll never understand your people.
Well, I thought you were gonna work on the mount in that time that I would work on the ring.
Well, I can do more than one thing at a time, you know. I am very skilled at my craft.
Yeah, but I also always like to make sure that it's actually up to par, and I show her my ring compared to hers.
She says, "Yes, you made it. Your ring looks a little bit more passable, but like I said, you don't need much to fool a bugbear."
Sounds like Trevor.
No, but once in a while you'll get unlucky and run into something else than a bugbear.
Well, that's true. There are hobgoblin patrols that make sure that the peace is kept. They're harder to fool.
Son of a.
Stay away from them, perhaps.
The sea fart. That sounds good.
I look at it, but did you want to join us down there, or?
Uh,
Let's see, she'll do it now.
roll a persuasion. Roll a persuasion, because she's had relatives and friends that have gone to the tower who have died, or at least have not came back.
It's one way for you to get some information and maybe learn something new.
Look, a siren, man.
It's not gonna take much killing, is it?
Just one time.
As I was telling Fred, I
Oh,
don't plan
my
to do
man,
much
sorry.
killing. If we can't run into anything, I think the plan is run.
Very well. I could do that. My little legs will carry me as far as they can.
Stop it.
Just remember that if we get into too much danger,
Mother.
remember that you said the plan was to run.
None of that.
That's right. Good girl.
Very well. I'll go with you.
Son of a.
Come on, Merwellin.
Nope.
And the mother and the daughter are side by side. Atticus,
Yeah.
Merwellin, yourself, and Fred. Jinx is off at the market, presumably still. And from where you're at to get back to the tower, it's about just another hour and a half or so. The market's about a half hour past that, 20 minutes past that, something like that.
It's not fair.
She just got
I summon my book again, and I hand it
It's
to
not fair.
Mary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it unfair?
We
This
can,
part doesn't matter if it's in code or not. Once we get in there, I just want you to draw the path we walk.
and out of character, we could just call her Mary from now on if you want. That's fine.
Merryweather. I like it. Doesn't matter.
Merryweather.
Wasn't Merryweather what you called her?
Swimming.
Mary Wellen.
Well,
Yeah.
that I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna call her Merryweather.
Okay, Mary.
I'm gonna call her
All right, Merryweather. Okay. We'll call her Merryweather.
Merryweather. I'm gonna remember because of the artist.
Lord Merryweather, he'll knock you out.
All right. There we go, Merryweather. And it is so. I've wrote it down. All right. So, you have your merry band of folks together, pun intended. What would you like to do now, sir?
Well, I think it was the bugbear encampment that was the.
Yes. All right. So you take the journey down. It's about 40 minutes or so walking, and you, Fred, Atticus, and Merryweather are all traveling together. You get down into, in between some of the. You make your way between some of the tents, and you can see that there are more permanent structures here. And now that you've been amongst the populace a few times, looking around, you can tell that there's different civilizations, types of architecture. Like, you definitely see an orc architecture, which is very uncommon because you haven't seen any orcs since you've been here. But the architecture that you're amongst now, beyond the leather tents, is sandstone. And there is a alcove where the cave kind of separates from the mountain upwards and forms like this inner cove underneath the upper layer, essentially. And it's kind of like dug out. And so all these buildings in here are kind of, in the shadows, in the shade. It's a bit cooler down there compared to the smokiness of the prevailing air around the tents. And you're able to see that there are, at least, from where you're at right now, you can see that there's 5 bugbears who are, there's 3 of them that are, kind of walking around patrolling. And there's 2 that are stationary a little bit further back. And behind them, you're able to see a passageway that leads into the cliff face itself.
As we're walking up there, I'm like clearing my throat and adjusting my cloak and so on.
Mm-hmm. And the bugbears who are patrolling don't seem to pay you any mind, but the 2 who are standing entrance, or standing guard at the entrance to this underground area, they kind of look at you and they say, papers?
Who do you think I am? Do I look like some commoner to you? Get out of my way!
Who are you?
I'm here on business from Lord Simpson. Get out of my way! I was ordered here to study this tower. Get out of my way! Move!
Whose authority?
Okay, did you pay some?
As I said, Lord Simpson, I'm his scribe.
Lord
I turned to her.
Simpson?
Is this how your city treats servants of their nobles?
Go ahead and give me a performance check.
Oh, fucking had to performance.
Calm down, ladies. I didn't say I needed a performance check from you.
Fuck!
Oh, fuck.
Okay, mommy.
Why do you have a diaper on your chest?
Your daughter needs to pull out.
Because I'm getting ready to change her. God dang it.
Okay.
It could be damn
A
mine.
9, huh? Okay. Now I
You
see
don't
why
give
you
me a
were.
9?
Ah, fuck.
That fucked.
Yeah.
So then, Atticus sees that these guards don't seem to be understanding or even know who Lord Simpson is, and she's like, maybe I went too low, too obscure. And she says, yes, well, excuse me, guards, can you move aside, please? This clearly is somebody that you should respect and move. He says, but the tower is off limits to even us. He says, your safety cannot be guaranteed. We were just told to guard it. And then the other one's like, we were told to guard people from coming out,
No, we're laying down.
not going in. And the other guard's like, it's bad.
The heck was that?
People who go in don't come out.
You just growl at me? Did your belly just growl?
Or is that why you're here?
Golly.
Belly growled at me.
I am here
Andrew,
to study the tower to figure out
Yeah.
if we can get the people out. You are preventing me from doing my job, preventing
Because my hair
your
is
nobles
everywhere.
from saving your citizens, from saving your people, saving your
Really?
brethren and sisters.
I don't want to get up.
Okay. And do your performance check. A hobgoblin who's patrolling the area sees that you are in a conversation, essentially right at the area where, anybody who's not a bugbear cannot enter. And he sees you all locked into a conversation. He sees that there's 4 of you, 2 of them, and he doesn't have his hand on his weapon or anything like that. But he comes over inquisitively, and Callie, the hobgoblin, he comes over inquisitively and says, "What's going on here?"
In my best Karen manner, I'm gonna snap around, look at him, and go, are you a person who is actually able to make it so that these things move so I can do the job for your nobility? I am here on behalf of Lord Simpson. I was asked to study this tower to try and see if we could save your citizens, like real Karen manner, like
Oh,
going on.
Lord Simpson, you say? He hasn't been by to visit me in at least 2 weeks. How is he?
Last I know, he was very, very shaken up that you haven't done more to try and save your citizens, which is why he hired me to do this.
How is his situation?
I know nothing of any situations. He came to me to tell me to study this tower to try and save your citizens. I did not inquire about his family, his situations, his work, or anything. I am here for the tower.
I see. Okay. Well, then you wouldn't know about the bouts of explosive diarrhea. No, that's out of character. I'm just trying to make the ladies laugh here. No, he says to you, very well, if he didn't send you for a social call, I'll just have to see him next time he visits. Very well. And then he says to the bugbears, if he's so determined to go into that tower and Lord Simpson's the one who sent him, then I suppose you shall let him enter. But I should warn you that there have been at least 7 disappearances around that tower in the last month's time alone. Your safety cannot be guaranteed once you enter that tower.
Coffee.
You can see that the doors above the tower have been destroyed.
We just
And that is for one reason and one reason only. The things that are located in that tower are unspeakable things that you don't want out of the tower. So if you go into that tower, I shall let you know that you shall not receive any assistance from my guards or any of the other security of the settlement. If you agree to that, then I wish you luck, and may you come out alive. Maybe you'll have another good story to tell.
I am not in this for the stories nor the fame. I'm in it for the money.
Aren't we all? Everybody's hoping to get rich. Just hope you live to tell the tale. And with that, he waves the two bugbears aside, and your way is clear.
Yep. Obvious.
Immediately, you can see that the passageway into the cliff face itself. After you see that there's an intersection, a few of the different ways of that intersection are lit. However, at that intersection is the tower.
You're silly.
So that you can see that it is just a basic wooden door. You don't even think that it's even really secure at all. One of the hinges is loose and it's quite rickety.
Really?
The door itself has pieces of wood fractured out of it, so you're actually able to peer into it if you wish to.
I so wish.
Alrighty. So when you go up to this door, immediately, when you how are you looking? Are you putting your face up to it, or how are you?
1 second, just removing a tick from my cat.
Oh yeah, remove a tick. Yeah, definitely remove a tick from your cat.
Can't give up.
Is that in real life or?
Yeah, in real life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that wasn't part of the game.
I was like, does cat really have a tick?
Yes, that is how much realism I shoot for. They all have pets, and his is a cat, and then his cat has a tick on it, right? And then if he wishes to, he
That's
can
why
name
we
it.
don't act like that.
I thought he was bringing his cat into his.
Yeah, it does 1d4 minus 3 damage. It has a jumping ability of 20 feet.
What?
It's immune to being knocked prone.
Wait, I'm so confused. His real cat went outside, got a tick, but he's getting points over here.
No, he was messing with you. Just kind of going with the joke.
How did you want to view this door? You
Well,
standing far away from it, you can't really make out too many details. It seems to be really dark, though.
so at this point, I stuff my hand into my bag of holding, and I remember, oh yeah, I don't have a spyglass. So I walk a little bit closer, and I start from like 10 yards away, looking in. Still can't see anything. Go up to 5 yards, look in, and go closer and closer and closer.
Okay. Yeah. So once you get to that 5-yard point, you start feeling as if the building itself, like or something within the building, perhaps, is starting to draw like your energy from you. It's starting to you're starting to actually like sweat a bit, and like as if you've exerted a great deal of energy to complete a bunch of tasks in short succession. Like your breathing is starting to get.
So it feels like I'm being drained of magic. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, your physical essence, not your magical essence, but yeah, something like that.
I look towards Fred. to see if he feels any of this.
So you look towards Fred, and you can see that he has a he definitely has some type of minor malady about his head. His head is racked in pain a bit, but he tells you he waves you that he's okay and that he can continue. Clearly, he's been around this building a lot longer than you, being a citizen of this city. So he's been under its effects longer, so it wouldn't be as adverse on him.
Fred, do you have any magical abilities?
Not really. I mean, I could create light and things, but it's nothing major as far as I understand. I'm not learned.
Okay. Well, it's
Most of us down here have to at least know how to create some light. Be underground. It gets rather dark.
I look around, find a stone.
Yeah, there's plenty.
cast-
There's plenty of stones down here. They're more dirt, clay, but yeah, there's stones in there too.
Light, throw it through the door.
All right. So you cast light on it and throw it through the door, and as you cast light on it, and once you let it go, it travels through the door, and as it travels to the other side of the door, you briefly see that it lights up the back wall of the entryway and the flooring, and the flooring itself looks completely different than any of the other flooring. But as soon as that lighted rock crosses that threshold of that flooring, the light gets sucked and absorbed from that rock and sucked down and absorbed down into the flooring.
Minor illusion. Person walking through the door.
Alright, let me go look at minor illusion real fast. Yeah, so you're the illusion can't, it just goes through the door, right? It doesn't interact with the door and open it and things like that, right?
Nope. I just want to see
Right.
if it all of it disappears as the one, or if it disappears as it crosses that threshold.
Yeah, once your illusion, you're able to see it go through the door, and as it goes through the door, once it crosses that flooring, it also disappears into the as if into it melted into the flooring.
Okay. I am gonna try and use my cane to figure out if this is some kind of magical absorption, or if it's just an anti-magic zone.
Okay. Yeah, you know that flooring is made out not exclusively, but it is made out of crushed black resinium crystals, and those black resinium crystals are called necrotium.
Do I happen to know what properties they possess?
That is how that you, from what you know about it, because you've not used it personally yet, that these are used to open and close gates to the abyss, to Hades, to the lower planes. And you also know that it's the inverse of the white resinium crystals, and they are basically used to desecrate or consecrate land. Uh, it grows naturally out of places of death, and yeah, it has life draining properties.
I turn to the others and I relay this information.
And so Mary says, well, that sounds highly dangerous. How do you wish to proceed?
You pussy.
Well, we can open the door to begin with and have a look. Do any of you happen to have a normal torch?
Yeah, Fred has a normal torch.
You possessor.
He says, "Well, I carry these with me through when I go mining. You need a torch? Here you go." He strikes one with a flint and lights it for you. Passes you the torch. Says, "Now what are you gonna do?"
I stick it through the door.
All right. You stick the torch through the door, and it drops to the floor, and it illuminates the surrounding area. You don't see any enemies. However, you do see that the hallway, rounds a few different corners, and you could make the determination from the illumination that the room that you're about to enter seems to be somewhat of circular in nature. The torch itself, however, stays lit for some time before it eventually itself turns.
I didn't drop it.
Oh,
I'm
you didn't
holding
drop it.
so-
Oh, you just held it in the air. Okay, but you're holding it still above the plane of the floor, right?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So as you're doing you're doing that, it still illuminates everything that I just said it did. But in addition, since you stuck your hand through the door, your hand itself now is starting to feel rather weakened, and it's giving you this sickly feeling where you're having to resist the urge to vomit.
Okay, I am particularly trying to see if this flooring has an end within sight.
Oh yeah, it does. It's just like a 20-foot square, right in front of the door, and then it changes to yeah. Sorry, I thought I did mention that. It's a different type of flooring than the rest of it. Yeah, I did mention that.
Yeah, but you just didn't say how far.
Yeah, it's about a 20-foot square or so.
I kind of like look around.
I don't know what you're about to do.
I look to the Fred and say, "Do you know how strong these walls are?" And I point to the walls in the cave.
Put your tongue back in your mouth.
Don't get me this.
Fred says to you, "Well, the mines were dug with the settlement above in mind, so they're very strongly reinforced, as a full 1/3 of the city is located directly above this. So these tunnels and mines are very well fortified."
Okay, I look to the wall behind the tower that I know is towards the outside. Is that within 120 feet?
Yes.
I look at Fred. What would happen if a section of stone were to be removed from that wall?
Well, I would have to say that it would definitely hold up, but I don't think the bugbears would be all too happy. You'd essentially be ruining, well, the busiest intersection. It's the intersection into their portion of the settlement. I can't see them being too happy. What's your purpose?
I was planning to make a walkway above this section of very, very unpleasant stone, so we wouldn't have to step directly on it.
So you're suggesting to burrow through the stone of the settlement itself, or of the tower itself, to
No,
bypass
no. I was thinking of taking a section of that wall over there and magically transporting it over here to make like a small lifted floor or walkway above this very nasty flooring right here, so we could get inside this tower without stepping on that.
Well, you certainly could try it. That sounds pretty clever, but it seemed to have absorbed the magic from the rock that you threw.
Yeah. It's also kind of an experiment because the construction itself would be a physical object, but it would be done by magic. So it's also kind of like an experiment to see if we can circumvent.
All right, and after you try this, okay, let me go ahead. Let me pause this real quick and give everybody icons. Then I didn't know you were going to take a cadre of folks with you. All right, so we'll say that you give the torch back to Fred then, since he's the lead. So Fred has the torch still, and other than that, this place is completely dark. However, the flooring itself has turned into this beautiful light blue flooring with some dark blue accents. It's definitely pretty pricey and extravagant, and probably a little bit excessive. There are places, obviously, where the flooring has been worn or crumbled, but it's generally still intact, except for the excessive amounts of dirt and dust floating through the air. However, once you are all settled into that next room after the foyer, you can hear the door behind you slams shut, and then you hear like a static discharge of electricity and behind you, and as you hear that, this whole area that you're currently in, the torches down the hallway, they're all in like 10-foot increments or so, staggered down this hallway, and they all just alight just like that. They all light within about an 8-second period or so. There's about 10 of these torches, and the room is completely well illuminated now at this point. And as this happens, you're able to now see what looks to be about 15, 20 ghost-like bodies that are steadily not running, because the ghosts can't run, but essentially they're floating to you and past you, and trying to float. They're floating out, through the door and out the other side somewhere. You can try to interact with them or whatever you like, or anything.
No, right now I'm just studying Addie
All right.
to see if she reacts to any of these ghosts.
Well, yeah, she's looking around in amazement, and she's actually feeling like the architecture and the stonework and things like that. And
Wasn't what I mean. I meant as in, does she recognize any of these ghosts?
right. I was getting to that later on in the description.
Okay.
But yeah, no, she doesn't recognize. From what you can tell, she doesn't recognize any of these ghosts. And in fact, these ghosts aren't goblin in nature, but they are Yuan-Ti. in ghost form.
I just smiled to myself. Those bastards get what they deserve.
And so they all proceed to rush past you all, and it seems like you all, or at least you or any of you really, but once somebody who was living entered this place, it seemed to have brought it a light. It is reviving this place somehow, as it's still feeding off of your life force, making you feel weaker. And I'm not going to make you roll for fatigue or anything like that yet, but you just know that will, depending on how much time you spend here, could come into play. So, anyways, as the place lights up, you can hear. You're not really sure if the voice is. This place is really disorienting to you. It's a lot bigger than it looked on the outside, for certain, and it's very echoey. And so you're not sure if you hear this voice like speaking out to you, or if you hear this voice as like an internal monologue in your head. But you hear, "Hello and welcome. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. You wouldn't mind terribly coming up to free me, would you? I've been here for so long, and it seems that your involvement has let out, well, some problems for your people on the outside, shall we say. So I do suggest you get to me in all quickness." And then it stops.
What language was it in?
Oh, it was definitely Yanti. I can't speak snake, so I'm not gonna.
I turned to the others. Did you hear that as well?
And Atticus is like clearing out her ears to see if she heard anything, but you don't feel like she did. She's like, I what I can't hear nothing in here. And as she's saying this, like her voice is like booming and echoing off of everything. Like her voice normally is rather, it's not meager, but it's it's definitely mild and more timid with a hint of determination about it. But it's whatever's going on has made her voice kind of into more of a booming voice, and it's actually kind of sensitive to your eardrums. And Fred says to you, "Yeah, I heard something. I can't understand it though."
I take a quick look around and I look towards Meriwether, and I kind of remember to draw a map for us, just to ensure, because when we gotta run, we need it.
Meriwether says to you, "I heard a female's voice, but I don't know the language. That's not one that Mama's taught me yet."
It was undercommon.
Whoa, what was said?
Oh, they asked us to join them and to release them. But let's go have a look first. Might not be interested in letting out whoever it is, you know?
And by the way, out of character, it's not undercommon. Yuan-Ti have their own actual language. It's based off of Draconic and Abyssal, but they actually do have their own language.
Ah, well, I understand both. So.
Okay, I just to let you know. But
I know Abyssal and I know Draconic, but I don't know Yanti.
right, no, it's fine. I'm just like people who are Italian could kind of understand people who speak Spanish because it's sort of, but not everything. So you can kind of get the gist of it if you know a Romance language. But so anyway, after you heard that voice, Meriwether said to you, I heard her. I couldn't understand her though. Who was it? Is it somebody you know? Is that who you're here looking for? Or
Nope. I do not know who they are.
was it a warning? Or a threat? Or are we in danger?
It could actually be both. It could be understood as a threat, but it could also be understood as a warning or as a message of encouragement. It depends upon how you interpret the words.
Well, okay, so out of character, did you tell them that it was a Yonti?
Nope.
Okay. All right, just so I don't roleplay it incorrectly. All right. Well, so Fred says, well, boss, what do you want to do? You want to continue forward, or we're not, it doesn't seem like we're in danger like that, but if it was a warning or a threat, we may soon be able to be in danger that we can't escape out of.
As of now, I say we go forward.
Very well. And we'll probably
To infinity and beyond.
Yeah, we'll probably be able to get through some of this, but I do have to go to work here soon.
Oh well, this is a decent place to stop. So.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Then we'll do the rest. We'll do the whole rest of the tower next session then, which will be Wednesday.
Yeah, you don't have to kind of like push it to the last minute with me. You know that.
It's time
Real life comes first.
It's time to
Thanks, Nova. 4 ice creams. Thanks so much. I appreciate that.
time
I need to change up those alerts, but
It's time to
it's one of the players in the campaign, Doctor, as the alert, Liz.
It's time to
Oh, a 5th ice cream. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know. You're what, like 8 hours different? I think it is.
He's 1 hour behind me.
Oh no, you. What time is it there for you right now?
11 p.m.
11 p.m. Okay, so it is 6 hours. You're 6 hours ahead. Okay,
I am. He's only 5.
Oh yeah, I was talking about you though, because it seemed like you were wanting that we could start the session earlier if you wanted.
Yeah, when it suits you, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Well, everything's pretty much done for the next session because it was supposed to be for this session. But I love role playing and things like that, so it's all good. So it's pretty much done. I'll get a hold of you, Wednesday morning, and I'll let you know, like within an hour or two, like if you're able to play or not. My daughter has therapy on Wednesday, but I'll be able to play before she goes to therapy.
Sounds good.
All right.
I'll see you then.
All right. See you, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. This is called the Dirty 20. It's our campaign. It's not like scripted or anything like that. Just kind of off the wall, off the shoot. I just like to make the maps. But I appreciate everybody.
Every subscription comes with a free sample for his OnlyFans.
Yeah, each free YouTube subscription comes with a 1-month subscription to my paid OnlyFans. So, for those of you who are out there unsubscribing and resubscribing, I see you. I see you trying to get around it. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great day.
Right, and hopefully you don't run into any maniacs at work.
All right.